All right, chemistry. So you had an opportunity yesterday to go into lab and collect data, and for many of you, that probably didn't take a long time, and you probably started working on your calculations. And if you were in the situation where you're working on your calculations, there's a couple of things that I really, really, really want to hit home here and highlight before you really get too far in them. And if you've already done everything and you're looking at this and you're saying, I made a mistake, I highly suggest you go back and take and fix it. Now, so you already have your lab notebook set up here. So we have title of the lab, look at the lab handout, date of the lab was today, it was yesterday actually, October 13th, and your partner's name is whoever you were either paired up with or managed to select. The goal of the lab, I hinted to you that you should be looking at the learning target objective from the handout that you had received on Tuesday. There happened to be no safety questions to answer, so that was none. The materials list, you should list every piece that was on the handout. So it was the balance, it was the ruler, it was the and then the five different plastic blocks. And then pre-lab questions for this particular lab, there were none of them. So that was your first page, and now we're going to move into your procedure page. Oh, look at this. Mr. Kazicki made this way better than what I had before. So he's awesome. Now, you were supposed to have written your own procedure. It was supposed to be step by step. So like step one, gather the materials perhaps. Step two, find the mass of your object. So in this case, I don't have anything that's plastic here. So I just grabbed a cardboard box that I happen to have laying around that's full clearly of random things like screws. And I would put that on the balance. And when I put that on the balance, I'm going to record my mass. So if I were to like have my raw data table set up, I might have mass, and then I might have length and width, and I might have height. Oh wow, that is not my best work. Jeez. Okay. Now, my mass, I would want to record in grams. My length would be in centimeters. My width would be in centimeters. And my height would be in centimeters, right? So those are the things that you should probably already have. And if you have like block one, I'm just going to have brown here because that's the one that I have to work with. And I put it on my balance. That's pretty heavy. I don't have a balance here, actually. So I'm going to say maybe it was like something like... let's say 127.35 grams. Now, the thing that's really important to do here is when we're measuring with our ruler, and look at my fancy ruler. This actually came directly from New Zealand when my sister was in New Zealand. But in any case, so there's your inches side, and then there's your centimeter side. And I really, really hope you measured with your centimeter side. Now, when I go to take my length measurement, I'm going to go ahead, and it doesn't matter. I mean, this could be my length. This could be my length. This could be my length. It actually doesn't matter as long as I never measure the same side more than once. So when I measure this, I'm going to put my ruler, and I'm going to measure it. And I'm going to say it's like, it's 20. It's not quite 20, 20.5, so it's like 20.4, and it's going to be like 20.41 is what I'm going to call it. So my length was 20.41 centimeters. Now my width, measure it again. So I'm going to do another quick measurement here, and it's going to be like 5. It's not quite 5.1. It's like 5.09. So I'm going to say that's going to be 5.09. We've already got centimeters at the top. And then the height would be something like, I don't know, 6.11. So it's like 6.11. What's really important in all of your measurements is you needed to go to 2 decimal places for your ruler measurement, your length, width, and height. If you did not go to 2 decimal places for your ruler measurement, I need you to go back and remeasure your blocks. Don't just pick up a random block and remeasure the length, width, and height and hope the mass is okay. You're going to have to redo the whole thing. And that's one of the reasons why we have the notebook set up the way that it is. Because if your procedure is all over here on this side, and then you made your data table maybe on the top half, you should have a bunch of space at the bottom where if you did make a mistake and you didn't go to 2 decimal places, you should go back and fix that. Okay. So now we've got our raw data. Okay. So now I'm going to take my raw data. So today in class, you're going to be manipulating your raw data. So post-lab calculations, you are going to have a heading, which is this right here, volume of a solid. You're going to show your formula, length, width, height, and then you're going to substitute, put in your values. So in the case of ours, of my example here, I would put 20.41 centimeters times 5.09 centimeters times 6.11 centimeters. And then I would show my answer. And then for density, I would take my mass, which in this case was the 123.4 something, divided by the volume of the solid. Okay. Now, some things to think about. If I take, and I'm going to do this over here. If I take a length, which was 41 times 5.09 times 6.11. When I multiply that all the way out, I have to follow rules for significant figures for my answer. Okay, so really, really think back to what was the rule for multiplying and dividing in terms of how many significant figures you report. Also, your unit is really important here. Centimeters times centimeters times centimeters is going to be your unit. And I want you to really, really think about that. I can't tell you exactly what it is right now, although I'm pretty sure I told you in a video the other day. You should know. So now when we take our density, you're going to take, in this case, density is mass divided by volume. My mass was 127.35, I believe. Yep. And that's going to be grams over whatever the volume was. And then, so that's my formula, my substitution, and then my answer. Okay. And then you're going to take that table and this is going to be your calculated density. So your calculated density, whatever this answer is going to be like, going to go here, and it's going to go for, I don't know, this block here, if that was the transparent one. Then you're going to look at that graph, right? That graph that was in the handout, and you are going to compare your calculated density to the provided density and densities in the graph. And whichever one that it is closest to, you are going to then use the symbol, okay, in the coded symbol section. And that's pretty much what you're going to be doing in your lab today. For your lab today. And as soon as you're done with it, as soon as you're finished, close up your book, hand it in. Okay? That's what I need you to do. Any questions, you can send me an email and I'll take a look at those as much as I can during school day. Otherwise, good luck with your calculations, and we'll talk about this when I get back a little bit. Bye now.